Hello, thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of Lowcountry Money Talk. Phil, nice to see you.
Good to see you.
Phil Bloyd at the desk with us once again with Revolutionary Financial Group. We have a whole lot to unpack. Today's topic is a big one, and I mean that kind of literally. We're going to talk a little bit about this debt ceiling debate.
Sure.
We've got some clips to listen to kick off our show from some former presidents, current Speaker of the House. Let's take a listen.
I think it is terribly important that the Congress pass a clean debt ceiling and do it immediately so that we can honor the full faith and credit of the United States and so that those Social Security checks can go out at the 1st of March.
Social Security checks and veterans benefits will be delayed. We might not be able to pay our troops or honor our contracts with small business owners. Food inspectors, air traffic controllers wouldn't get their paychecks.
Unfortunately, the president would not take yes for an answer. Even when we thought we might be close on an agreement, the president's demands changed.
They have difference of opinion on both sides, but if the Senate has a different opinion, pass a bill. How Congress works, if you just go back to Schoolhouse Rock, House pass a bill, Senate pass a bill, they can go to conference, and the president can then decide. But the one thing I do know, Schoolhouse Rock, they never told you not to negotiate. They told you to work together, and that's what we're doing.
Okay, so there's a mountain of debt, as we know. I mean, we're talking almost $32 trillion in debt. That's a whole lot of money. So for our retirees who are watching or those nearing retirement, how can retirees expect, because I think expect is the right word here, that this is going to affect them?
So it's crazy when you think about Washington, D.C. I flew by there recently. I counted at least 20 cranes, construction cranes, building. And I'm like, wow, I'm not used to seeing that. Washington, D.C. is bloated. Yeah. And it continues to be bloated. It's one of the wealthiest cities in the world. Wow. Because the people there are deciding where $4.8 trillion is going to be spent, what countries and organizations. People are flying in from all over the world to get their cut of that 4.8, plus the other 1.5 to 2 trillion that they spend over what they receive in the 4.8 is the tax revenue.
Right.
Okay? So they're building to house all these people that go to Washington, D.C. to get our money.
That's an interesting way to think about it. And
that's why it keeps expanding. As the government continues to expand, they claimed victory on a 1% reduction to our debt, to our spending. 1%, that's a victory. And they said, well, that'll reduce our spending by $2 trillion. The spending that last year that normally a lot of that was COVID spending still.
Yes.
So they cut 1% and they're like, we won. I'm like, that's not a great deal.
Celebrate.
If I have an IRA that is pre-taxed, hasn't been taxed, and I have this kind of spending, I should be concerned.
Yeah.
I should develop a plan so that I can outfox these people.
Right.
Because they're not the smartest people in the world that work there. We say not the sharpest knife in the drawer.
That's right.
Okay.
The brightest crayon in the box.
Right. So they've got us with all of our money buried in a tax trap, IRA, 401k, pre-tax, whatever. And we've got to develop a plan to get out of that thing. So when I have a pre-tax plan like a 401k, an IRA, a SEP plan, whatever it may be, I better have a tax plan to go along with how am I going to unwrap that thing.
Yes.
Okay?
Well, and that's what's so interesting. I never really thought about that, but it is so important, especially as the debt continues to, hasn't gotten smaller.
No.
And, you know, we're going to have to figure out where that's going to be accounted from us.
Yeah.
So you better plan on that. We're going to learn a little bit more about how and where and when and why and all of the questions we have for Phil on that after the break. So stick with us as we work through it. We'll be back with more Lowcountry Money Talk.